Welcome back to a movie watching podcast. This is Cody Michael. I'm joined as always by Seth Ott and Jared Buckendall.
Is that a nose? Is that yeah, there we go. Get a better sound.
And we have all just watched Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This is the
what a picture
classic, I guess. From I didn't hear what you said.
I said, what a picture.
What a picture from 1988. Basically, some killer clowns from outer space descend on a small suburban town. Some teens die. Some other people die. A lot of clown stuff happens. I really enjoyed this, actually, guys.
I gotta admit, I went in and I had doubts, and they were put to sleep. This was a very I was like, you know what? I understand how this has stood the test of time.
Well, I was thinking about it like when I was watching, because we had done Howard the Duck previously.
Yeah.
And I think because like what made me enjoy this one more was this movie knew exactly what it was going into it, and it stuck to it, and it did it the entire time. Howard the Duck had no idea what the heck that movie wanted to be, and so it was just weird and bad, whereas like this was like weird and bad, but in the best ways possible.
I think every single trope or anything around a clown, they found a creative way of putting it in the movie. Like, we'll get to it, but that balloon dog scene, I was cackling.
I knew I was so in when that happened. I was probably in before that happened, but I was so in when that happened. They didn't leave a lot of stones unturned in terms of the clown stuff, and it just they never took stuff too serious. I found myself really feeling nostalgic for the way they used to make movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it used to be that. I feel like we said this in last week's episode, but we know we're in a movie, guys. Like it doesn't need to look like a real clown, and you don't need to explain why it makes sense that they're here and where they're from and why they left there. It can just be some clowns killing people with pie. It can just be dumb. It can just be fun. It can just be scary. Like that's what I found myself feeling like. I don't need to care about this person's parents' backstory in order to give a shit about whether or not this character dies tonight. I could just like them because they're the protagonist. That's fine. Like I don't know. You don't get them like this anymore. The cop is classic to me. The old guy cop. If given an opportunity, I would trade voices with that man.
Well,
monkey's paw gift. If I find a monkey's paw, that's what I'm doing. I want that one. And I'm gonna do some damage with it. You're right about. It's funny you bring up Howard the Duck. I also felt like I got a lot of what I was looking for in Howard the Duck from this, and so I'm really glad that this is where we landed. They don't waste any time either. It's a tight 90. You get in, you get out. I mean, let's get into the bets here because, I mean, what's really funny is, given what we got out of this movie, I would have expected more of these bets to hit than what did.
Yeah.
Because I think we're on the right track with a lot of them. But I think we missed in some key areas. So one area that I missed on my one pointer, I didn't look at the rating. I was going for a boobs and slur combo. I didn't look at the fact that it was PG-13. So
shoot.
We got some near boobs, we got some near slurs, but I don't think we actually got either in full effect. So unfortunately, I do not get that point. Now, Jared, this is one where I'm going to need confirmation from you on. You were looking for someone to be calling one of our clowns Bozo.
Yeah. I thought that'd be such an easy one, but I feel like every bozo they swapped out with JoJo. Like
that's what I heard too.
They kept calling everyone JoJo, and I'm like, no, say bozo. There was no bozo. So
I wonder if they were worried about trademarks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, I wonder if there's a copyright trademark from bozo from like what, the 50s or 60s or whatever. But nope, I did not get that one, unfortunately. I thought that was an easy like give me one.
Mm-hmm.
I did too, honestly. But, so Jared and I go 0 for on our one pointers, and then over the horizon in the dust, gallops on his mighty steed Seth, saving the 1 point category. And guys, I don't know about y'all. I got pretty fired up when I saw this.
What was his one bet?
You want to tell him?
1 pointer.
That Killer Klowns would use pie to kill someone in the movie.
Yes. Oh
And
my
did they
gosh.
use pie? They used a lot of pie to kill that. What was it, a police officer or a security guard or whatever?
Security guard. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's just hanging out. All the side characters were real goofy.
In the most cartoonish way, he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And every one of them pulls a pie out from behind his back. And I'm going, oh, "Pie's his weapon, pie's his weapon." And then they start throwing them, and I'm like, "No way, they're gonna kill this guy with pies."
They suffocate him with pie.
He just like melted.
And then he melts. Yeah.
He became a pie, I guess.
Yeah.
Man, that made me really happy to see. That made me really happy to see. Man. And I needed consoling because as we go to our 3-pointers, here's another one I'm going to miss. I thought again that we would have when the clowns started putting people into cocoons. I knew I was in trouble because I was counting on some body mutilation and a little bit more gore. Again, you got to check the ratings, Co. That's what I learned this week. I was looking for there to be a dead human wearing a clown nose. So we got a couple bodies, but none of them were wearing clown noses, which I thought was going to be kind of a taunt.
Yeah. I will say though, complete side note, when he punched that one biker's head off, I was like, wow.
That was awesome. What are you going to do? Yeah. Knock my block off? And then what?
And also, scattered. The noses were kind of like the weakness of the Killer Klowns too. So that's kind of also where I thought maybe there'd be a little more nose stuff potentially with your bet, but nope, cool. It was just a weakness.
Not enough nose stuff.
I tell you what, the maybe kill of the night for me is the shadow puppet gulping up the whole group of people. I was hoping that it would just like bite a guy in half or something, but practically speaking, it's probably easier for them to just grab the whole lot of them rather than deal with having to.
And even more important than the kill was the old couple who were overly reacting to everything that's happening with the shadow puppets.
Oh yeah.
Not only did they see shadow puppets as children, but they have seen no technology since. So this is the height of energy. Oh my God, there's a clown in town.
Yeah.
To be fair, he was doing shadow puppets of like the Revolutionary War and stuff. So
yeah, that was pretty wild. And then a scantily clad like dancing hula woman.
That was my favorite. His finger game was strong for sure. He was pause.
Wait a minute.
He was going crazy on that one. Here's another one, Jared, where I know we got close, but I'll need you to tell me which way it went. We were looking for there to be over 2.5 carnival foods.
Over. Okay. I know that there was, the cotton candy from the cocoons.
Cotton candy, of course, counts.
There was like that shotgun or the gun that shot the popcorn.
Popcorn, love it.
I think that's it, though.
Chef, did you try any corn dogs?
I didn't see a corn dog.
No, I don't.
And would pie technically count? Because I don't feel like that's a carnival food, really.
I don't think that kind of pie counts as a carnival food.
True.
Man, that was a close one.
I thought there was going to be a cheeseburger at the opening scene, but no, didn't see any food at that restaurant.
Yeah, I think I wonder if that was a budget call. They're like, it was tough enough for us to get the venue, us getting food in here and getting approval to use it. That's a tougher proposition. Chef, for your 3-pointer. Now, this is one where you caught the edge of this, but didn't quite hit it flush. We definitely have a clown car featured. You were looking for that clown car to run someone over, which they did not quite do. But they do hop out and kill a guy with a pie. So you had to have still felt pretty good when you saw that scene.
Well, also there was because I don't even know what you consider the clown. Was there full traditional? I don't remember the full the only clown car that I noticed was when they were sucking people up.
Oh, they definitely when they killed the guy with the pie, they rolled up in a car and
the 5 of them get out.
and then they killed him with the pies. Yeah.
I didn't remember that your bet was that they had to drive someone over. So I was like slow clapping because I was like, wait a minute, you just did the car to the pie. You just did a double pits to chesty combo right now. So
Incredible.
wow.
Well, because then the other car was one of the clowns was driving basically an invisible car with headlights in front of it.
That was nuts.
So this movie was wild.
I think the Batman movie was going to do a bat bike until they saw that scene. They're like, oh, nope.
We can't compete with that.
So we go 0 for on the 3-pointers. And as we go to the 5s, again, I got to check the rating, Co. I thought we would have some severed body parts getting juggled. Juggling might be the only thing we didn't really see from the clowns in this. We got about everything else except juggling. So none for me. Jared, you got, I thought, very close. We had a scene here where a clown showed up, rung someone's doorbell. There was a woman that answered in a nightie, and the clown was delivering a pizza. I thought shit was about to go off.
Yeah, I very much was excited because I thought it was happening in that scene. And then I also thought that something might happen when that one woman like was going to take a shower, which now thinking about it, I wonder if there was a scene with her being naked in the shower and then they cut it to change the rating.
I can see that for sure.
It felt like there was something that they were going to put there because like you're saying, there was no nudity in this at all.
Yep. I could see them having shot that for R and then cutting it back to PG-13. That would be interesting. So we did not have juggling body parts. We did not have the seduction of a killer clown, which is what Jared was looking for. But God damn it, here he comes over the hill on the white steed. And I tell you, my favorite part of this one was we found out pretty early in the movie that this was in play. And I remember going, oh my God, that could happen. And oh, did we get it, baby? You want to tell folks at home, Chef, what your 5-pointer was?
I mean, truly, it happened as I pictured it. Because I pictured it as the killer clown spaceship being a circus tent. The movie would end with them being defeated essentially by the spaceship going up in the air and exploding, and that is exactly what happened.
That's insane. It was like beat for beat.
As soon as we saw it, I was like, oh my God. And then once it's there, of course it's exploding. When it disappeared, I thought, oh. But then, they brought it back. So, man, you had your finger on the pulse here, Chef. And even your 3-pointer that you missed, you were damn close on.
Yeah, very close.
Give me a clown movie. I'm going to guess it all.
Man, watch out for Chef and clowns. Give the man a LeBron sounder. He's our champ again this week.
4-3 for the win. Yes!
That makes a 3.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This is just going to be the Seth Picks movie categories for us, Joe.
What's the next one? Something with the clown again?
Yeah.
Clown movies from the 90s.
Adams.
Let's go.
Every decade.
Well, we will have you pick a category in just a moment. Before you do, we have to give our reviews of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And you get to kick it off, Chef. If you have a pull quote, we want it. And what's your review out of 5?
Oh, God. Don't be a bozo. Go see this one. I would say I was surprised by this one. I'd say 3.5.
Whoa, 3.5. Nice.
Yeah, I had a good time. This is one that, like, if this would have came out now and we went to the theater to see it, this would be like one of those that like punches for the top 10 because I didn't expect anything out of it, and it was a fun time.
I love it. Where'd you end up, J-Buck?
I was pretty high on it too. Like, again, I had a fun time. I was smiling. I was laughing. Again, our bets made it a little bit more interesting. I'm going to say a 4 out of 5.
Holy cow!
Yeah. I had fun. This was a fun movie.
Wow.
Cody's like 5 out of 5.
I wish I was. I really do. And if I'd known you guys are going to be that high, I would have flipped the order. I felt insane going to 3. I was like, I was like, I definitely like this more than Howard the Duck, but I can't put it on the same level as some of the shit that I've seen recently. So I couldn't push it higher, but I love that you guys loved it. And I did enjoy it. So it's a 3 out of 5, which is very positive for me. And I'm very glad, Seth, to pass it back to you. Where do we as a group now land on Killer Klowns?
Let's just split it. We got the consensus basically here, 3.5.
All right.
3.5 out of 5 on Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This is my favorite thing about that we've done so far.
Yeah, I would say all of the movies so far, this one was the one that I had the most fun with.
Well, it's like, and I can see why, because I think that, I mean, the tomato score and like for audience and critics is like higher than you'd expect. It's one that's like always, you see it on a lot of like cult classic lists and stuff. And it's one like I would, unless you're like deathly afraid of clowns, it's one that I'd actually recommend for Halloween time. Because it scratches all those itches, and it's not super scary. It's more fun than scary, I think.
Yeah, I think because it didn't have all the like modern sound stings and camera cuts and stuff. Like when it was scary, a clown just walked on screen, which is just hilarious.
I would say that the closest thing to kind of scares or like horror was the ventriloquist scene.
That was pretty dark, actually. Yeah. When he just his hand out of the back of him. I love it. That's brilliant filmmaking.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow. Killer Klowns. It makes me so happy to say Killer Klowns from Outer Space is getting a 3.5 out of 5 from a movie watching podcast. Make sure you go over to our letterbox and check out the full review and friend us up so that we can see what you thought. Go catch this one if you haven't seen it. Killer Klowns. We saw it on Amazon Prime, but I think Seth and I both saw that it's leaving. J-Buck saw it on Tubi.
Tubi, baby.
If you got Tubi, cool. Go see Killer Klowns. Chef, one more thing here before we move on to what we watched this week. Do you have a category in mind for our next episode?
I do. So kind of, again, similarly themed to what we've been talking about in these last few weeks. One of the movies that came out recently was Mandalorian and Grogu, kind of a buddy movie. We also got Rich and Paul, who ran the ice cream truck, and Killer Klowns. They're a couple buds.
The Ipsy brothers.
So we are going to go with buddy movies as our category.
Yeah.
For the next film.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be... Now, I don't know. We're going to have to break up some subgenres in this. I love a good buddy road trip. I love a good buddy cop. We love a good buddy cop / robber. There's a lot of good options here. We have from the 70s all the way to now. This is a wide category, but I would argue, at least for Jared and I, we're going to have seen a lot of these. Turner and Hooch off the list. Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3
Lethal Weapon,
off the list. It's going to be tough, but we'll find one. And whatever we find, I'm sure is going to be amazing. Before we let you go for this week, though, let's check out what we have been watching. Chef, let's start with a little something from the TV world, little Chef's TV Corner throwback here.
Do we have any theme song?
You remember how it goes?
I think it was just a bunch of like random clips cut together, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember either. I guess we'll find out.
That's in my TV corner.
Seth, I want to blow you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Hacks, yeah, that's been running since we were doing.
I think you're right.
Yeah, while now. It's at least 5-6 years, but yeah, Hacks, Jean Smart, her multi-winning Emmy show. She's won it for every season. She's won.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
But she plays Deborah Vance, the aging stand-up comic, and Hannah Einbinder is like her writer. And the show basically takes a full arc of their relationship. It kind of focuses around them. Deborah Vance in the twilight of her career, trying to cement her legacy, and then Ava Daniels is trying to make a name for herself and get her career started. But it really centers around their relationship, and that's kind of what the last season really encompasses throughout is focusing on their relationship and putting a nice bow on that. The overall season was awesome. The main story is that Deborah Vance is basically putting together like one final great show at Madison Square Garden. That's the only thing that she hasn't done in her career. And she has hurdles along the way with different gag orders and things like that. But pretty satisfying end in terms of that storyline. And then really the finale is one of the better finales I've seen in general, because it does wrap up and reference back to so many moments throughout the show that I didn't even realize until watching stuff later, watching some of the behind the scenes things and listening like to the rewatch podcasts of the show. And they did like a panel and stuff. They had planned out the finale when they pitched the show. They told HBO what they were going to do, and basically had almost like verbatim from that original pitch did what they had planned to do with a couple of small tweaks. And then that finale they'd written basically that all the way back then. So they had like known going in what they were going to reference back to. I thought it was perfect. At first I was a little bit kind of caught off guard because there was things I'd forgotten, and I was like, it seems like they're kind of rushed some things. But again, listening back and watching back on things, it all made sense and fit perfectly and was awesome. And so I hope that Jean Smart gets the 5th and makes it a perfect game. I think she deserves it. I think Hannah Einbinder deserves it as well for supporting. And I hope the show gets it. They haven't got, I don't know if they've probably gotten nominated, but they've definitely not won. And I think it's a show that I think a lot of people slept on. Incredibly funny, has a ton of heart. And is a great arc. I think I wouldn't put it on the same level of Breaking Bad in terms of like doing an arc in a serious way, but in terms of a comedy and like the growth you see in the characters, that I can't think of anything recently that really follows an arc like that for a comedy. So fully recommend the show. Jared, you've watched some of it, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I stopped about 3.5 in. So like I'll probably, now that you say that like there's references from, the very beginning and throughout, I might just start over and just go all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might too, because those are half-hour episodes, right? So yeah, that's an afternoon or a weekend if you wanted to burn it all. I remember watching the first season and really enjoying it. I don't remember if I've seen past that, but it would be interesting to see how the characters change over time. And you do love a tight 5-season arc. That is Breaking Bad, same length too. Yeah. So that's the way to please Seth.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Well, Hacks is available in its entirety on HBO Max or Netmax or whatever it's going to be called, Paramax, whatever it's called, whenever you see
Ultra Max.
I was going to say that's one of the few shows that has probably survived the entirety of the name changes.
It's been through a lot of different logos to get to Hacks. But go check that one out. Back to the theater. Now, this was a highly anticipated weekend for a lot of folks. We saw the release of Backrooms. Now, this for some people is the capper on what's been a hot streak of horror this last couple months. We saw, on this show, we've talked about The Mummy, we've talked about Hokum, we talked about Obsession, which is most people's favorite of the year. And now we have Backrooms. This is based on the YouTube series that is also based on like a meme that started. It's a really interesting story to Backrooms, but it's basically about this liminal space that people start entering where weird shit is happening and weird rooms are popping up and weird things are going on. Very interesting, very black box, weird what's going on-y. Now, I really enjoyed this, actually. I happen to have gone to it twice.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. And I really dug it for a lot of reasons. But just to get out in front, Jared, you did not enjoy this. I was surprised by your take when I saw it online, because most people I think are loving this, but you are one of the few, the proud, that were not as into it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I wasn't fully down on it. Like, again, this is the way I described it was this is vibes the movie because, like, walking through these rooms, it was like you did not know what was around the next corner. And that was like very cool. That was intriguing. That was the fun part. But I just didn't think that the story hit. I mean, it again, like the aesthetic, the cool things that they had going on, the mechanics of how it worked. Really, what was it? That's kind of a big question. But I think the story was too disjointed. Again, seeing it twice, I bet I would appreciate it a lot more the second
you would.
time, kind of
Yep.
knowing and picking up certain clues and other things. I guess just theater experience. I have not seen that many young people show up to a movie. The
Gen
movie
Z is
theater
here.
was packed, and everyone walking in was like wearing backroom shirts and had like little. This was like their Star Wars. I don't know what to explain this as, but like these kids love this shit.
They were clapping in mine.
Really?
Yeah. When it started, people clapped, and when it ended, people clapped, and it was kids. It made me really happy, actually. And they weren't shitbags the whole time. When I heard how stoked they were at the beginning, I really thought they would suck, but they were cool. They were just really stoked to see. I had no idea. It's really fun to find out that there's an entire universe that you have no clue about.
Yeah.
That has this many fans. It's a little unsettling, but I just love that it's getting young people to the theater because that hadn't been happening. Mandalorian is not getting people to the theater. And you were pointing out before we started the show, Jared, this horror stuff that we've seen with Obsession and Backrooms has outperformed the Mandalorian, which must be insane for Disney.
Which, like, Star Wars, man. Like, think Star Wars had a grip on pop culture for what, 40-ish years? And just in this last, like, 7-10 years or whatever, just people are kind of like, it's Star Wars, whatever. And two of these, like, essentially indie horror movies beat Star Wars at the box office. So I think that, again, we could dive into that, and there's a bunch of, like, psychology of, like, what exactly is driving that. But let's reel it back to the movie. Like, what did you? I guess seeing it twice.
What did I really dig about it?
Yeah.
So there's a couple things there's one important thing that wasn't in the movie that added to my enjoyment. So I saw an interview of Kane Parsons, and he gave a loose description of this wider structure he has for Backrooms, where this is in universe with all of the YouTube stuff that has happened. And there's potential for more movies. In fact, I think I just heard that they're in pre-pro now for a sequel. And he said in this interview like a year ago that he would finish the whole thing with like a 9-episode TV series of some sort. And so part of what allowed me to get over one of the things I think some people aren't going to like about this is it doesn't give you a lot of answers, tons of questions. You don't get a lot of answers here. So there's a little bit of a lack of satisfaction if that's what you're looking for. But I think knowing that this is just a small sliver of such a bigger thing, that made it that a little bit easier to go down for me. But I just really liked, you talk about the tone. I like the way it was shot. They were creative with the different stuff that they did, which when the color doesn't change, you have to be creative with what you do with the camera. I thought they did that well. I thought Chiwetel Ejiofor was great in this. I didn't expect to see so much out of him, but he had some weird range.
He does have a lot of range, very fun, and then very like serious and like depressing at times.
I ended up really liking the feeling that this gives me is the feeling of truly not fucking knowing what is going on. Like if you learned that there was a whole city underneath your city that you had never heard about, the same way that would make you feel like, what, that's been there this whole time and I don't know about it, and that's creepy because I don't know anything about it. That's what Backrooms does for me. So I was really enjoying the just being completely lost of it all, even in the end, which there's a very confusing ending. Even that, I was enjoying being confused. So if you were looking for solutions, you were not finding them, but I was enjoying the confusion. So Chef, I have no idea about whether you would like this. there's a couple jump scares, but they threaten to jump scare you a shitload.
The whole time.
A quick thing, sorry, Seth. Quick thing. It's not straight up horror, really. It's more psychological horror. It's more of like just questioning reality.
So, is there an actual plot?
Yes, things happen over the course of the thing. Yeah, there's beginning, middle, end.
What, without spoiling, just as general as you could get.
Oh, sorry. Spoiling. Yeah, we didn't even say anything about what the plot is.
What is it?
Okay, so it's a good question, Jeff. So Chiwetel Ejiofor is the owner of a furniture store, and he is pretty down on his luck. He's going to therapy. His therapist is the other main character, and
is that the girl from Shrinking, or she?
Yes. No.
She's just kind of like someone that works at his store, like his sole employee, I believe.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, and then he is in his store one night and he sees this anomaly. And when he goes to explore the anomaly, something happens and he ends up in the Backrooms. And so he's in this new place. He has no idea why he's there or how exactly what the fuck is going on. And so he explores and then he leaves and tries to like get his therapist to understand what's going on. And she thinks he's nuts. Mm-hmm. And so from then on, the whole rest of the movie, it starts with him deciding he's going to go investigate what's in there so that he can bring proof back to his therapist so that she doesn't think he's nuts. And then everything after that just goes from there. Mm-hmm. But it does have a few kind of distinct sections, to Jared's point, which could feel disjointed if you're not into that. But I was able to ride it pretty well. And when you do go back for that second watch, it's really fun to kind of I spy around at different things. So yeah, I just really dug it for that reason. It's fascinating to me that this is what the kids are into. That part I can't really put my finger on. I don't know whether or not olds will be into it, but I saw that it did like 80 million on its opening weekend. So
I felt like 110.
Is it 110?
Damn. I mean, they only spent 10 million on it. And it's also funny because I saw an interview or like an inside behind the scenes type thing where A24 reached out to this Kane Parsons. And after they reached out, they're like, wait a minute, this is a 16-year-old kid? Like they thought it was an adult. Like they thought it was a legit like film auteur. And they're like, oh shit, this kid's in high school. He can't make this movie yet.
That's crazy. Because they have been working on it for a few years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, because I haven't been on TikTok in a very long time now, but when I was on it, these types of Backrooms things would come across my feed, and I would be pretty fascinated by them, like just seeing where things go. So I could see myself enjoying it for the escape room type aspect of it, of like what's next, and that's one of the things that I love about escape rooms is just like even thinking about what's coming next or how it's gonna move forward. And I think that like what that next room will look like. I love seeing going into a second room in an escape room is my favorite thing. And when it goes into a third and a fourth, and
you do fucking love it. This is true. I've never seen someone happier than Seth finding the
secret
bookcase is a door. Oh my god!
And that's basically what this movie is for a good portion of it. So
I think I could enjoy that, but this might be like my my get off my lawn take. That to me that just lives on a phone. That's not a movie to me. So the thing that makes me not want to see this is the way that you're saying, like it has more questions than answers, and it's not really telling. I mean, there's a plot, but the overall movie seems to be just like kind of, all over the fucking place.
It does feel very classic, like 5-6 years ago, A24 movie where you're seeing stuff you can't really explain, but you're very into it, and then the end is like a head scratcher. I'm going to have to probably watch an explainer video or break things down to fully understand the psychology behind things, what they're going for and whatnot. I mean, it's funny because I've read 3 different ending explains and they're all different. So I'm kind of like, okay, maybe it's up to interpretation. I don't know, but I don't have any malice towards the movie. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Also, I will say, the person I went to go see this movie with opened up their phone 20 times, so that probably took me out of the movie.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I think it's a really good point you make that it's a little bit A24 throwbacky. I think it fits in with like It Comes at Night.
Yes, exactly that movie.
It fits in with all of these. Yes, very ethereal, very what the hell's going on, and very what the hell was that on the ride home. Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know. I think maybe this might be another one that I watch at home. Not because I'm scared, but just because I'm like, I don't know.
It'll still hit at home.
Yeah,
it'll still hit at home for sure. Honestly, you probably could watch it on a phone and it would still hit pretty hard.
Yeah,
pretty well, comparatively.
Here's the best way to describe my current status as a movie goer. I am not excited at all to see that movie because of the whatever this sounds like, the Gen Z feeling that it has. I am extremely excited to go see the new Scary Movie.
Yeah.
If that doesn't describe millennial, I don't know what does.
Yeah, that is very, I was having a thought, well, maybe this is a topic for another show. I was having a thought recently about, I wonder if there's going to be this gap where there won't be any great millennial filmmakers, but there will be a shitload of great Gen Z filmmakers, because all the great millennial filmmakers made remakes. They all made Gareth Reynolds. Made 2 good movies and then made Gareth Edwards.
Yeah,
I get them backwards all the time. All these guys made 2 good movies and then got gobbled up by Marvel, and that's what they do now. So other than Coogler, I get Coogler and Peele. I'm sure there's more great directors that are millennials that I'm not thinking of, but I thought about that today. I think Gen Z is also
just like Gen Z in general too. They grew up with YouTube. Like, we kind of adopted it, we got it as a teens, but like it was established. It was a thing for them to just, it's, like Twitter's a thing for them. Just like all these things, like AI is going to be a thing for the next generation.
You merely adopted the YouTube. I was born in Backrooms.
By it. and this Kane Parsons made so much of this in the Blender program. So he like built a lot of this himself. That's the other thing about these guys is, and we've talked about this, Jared, with what you do and kind of the filmmaking skills that you've accrued over time. These kids can actually make an entire movie themselves. You don't need to give them 500 people to make a movie. They can do most of the work on their own. So I think it's going to be really cool. Even if they're not actually doing the work on their own, they'll have a better understanding of how to use all that stuff. And so I think he's effective a lot because he had the whole vision to himself. So how could he not have been?
Well, even what you're saying too, and we kind of talked about it, I think last week when we talked about Obsession, where maybe we talked off air, I can't remember, but they basically like prepped everything and mapped everything out before the fact. And I think that just saves money. So I'm wondering if Gen Z filmmakers like that will be able to like pinch pennies because they know all these, like you're saying, these little tricks to be like, this basically, I did the movie already. We just have to now film it.
Yep. I think you're going to see a lot of it. And at least for me, I'm realizing over these last few weeks that I am attracted to this idea that, like, if you tell me this movie was made for, you got to come see this movie, it was made for like $25 million, I'm going.
Oh yeah.
Or hey, they got this made for $6 million. I'm going to that. I think it's going to be really cool. I want to see how they pulled it off. I just looked up I Love Boosters. We enjoyed that one, 20 million. And all the creativity and different shit they got out of that movie for 20 million is pretty crazy.
I love it.
I think it's a selling point.
Money don't buy quality, my friend.
No, it does not.
I was trying to go to that Boosters movie, and then after the opening weekend, the only showing they had was like 9 p.m.
It's in no screens. Yeah. I can't see it at all in Bend, and it's week 2.
Man,
very frustrating. So go see I Love Boosters if you are somewhere, because it's going to be gone soon. But for now, make sure you get to Backrooms so you can draw your own opinion, because they're going to be all over the place. To Jared's point about the ending explains, you get to draw your own conclusions in a lot of ways here. So I think it's going to be pretty varied. And then don't forget Hacks over on HBO, Paramax, or wherever you get your HBO. Don't forget to come on back next week. We are going to be choosing a buddy movie to watch, and we're going to make some bets. This is going to be a really fun one. I can already tell. So make sure you come on back for that one so you can watch along with us and play the betting game. So make sure you check out Letterboxd for our reviews. Most recently, we did Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So go check that out on Letterboxd. That's going to do it for this episode. For Jared Buckendahl and Seth Ott, I've been Cody Michael, and we'll see you next time.